Chapter 9. Logan's Past Lives. "I said kiss my boot, then you can go," the man said again. Logan could feel the men's anger and violence. Faces. Thousands of faces. But none of them was Jessica's. Logan was pushed along by the crowds. Everyone around him was laughing and enjoying themselves. A small boy tried to sell him a toy Civil War gun, but Logan wasn't interested. Suddenly, a black coat. Francis! Logan quickly stepped into a doorway to hide. It was the entrance to a relive shop. He watched the black coat moving through the people, coming toward him. Something touched his arm. He turned and saw a robot looking sadly at his palm. "We've expected you," said the robot. "Come with me, please." Logan had to get away from Francis, so he followed the robot. He was taken into a dark room. The robot pulled a life bed out from the wall. "Just lie here," he said. "This is the newest style of bed. You can choose the year that you like. You can also change years really easily." Logan got onto the bed and lay down. When the robot started to cover his eyes, Logan tried to stop him. "Listen, I really don't need this. The robot calmly continued with his work. He knew that everyone was nervous on their last day. When he was finished, he pulled a switch. The life bed began to move smoothly back into the wall. Logan was in complete darkness. Suddenly, he was 16 again, in Nevada. It was the second day of his Sandman program. To graduate, he had to travel across more than 100 kilometers of wild land. He was given no food or water, and he couldn't take a gun or a knife. He had to find a way to kill animals for his food. He took his water from the plants. It was day 2, and he was still alive. The sun burned down on him. He moved slowly. His mouth was dry, and his stomach was empty. This was his test. He must pass it. He must not stop. Then he was 7, and his flower was blue. He had to leave the nursery and go out into the world. He was scared. He couldn't take Albert 6, his favorite talking toy, with him. The little toy ran after Logan. It was crying and shouting at him, "Loge! Loge! I'll never forget you!" But they caught the toy and put it away in a box. Logan screamed and screamed. Then he was 13, riding his playstick in Venice above St. Mark's Square. The wind carried him along, and he flew around and around in the blue Italian sky. He was a bird. He was free. He was 15. His teacher stood in front of him. Logan was learning how to fight in the Omnite way. "Again," said his teacher. Logan got into the correct Omnite fighting position and moved around the man. He was nervous, but he must do well. He must never be afraid. He had to learn before he could be a Sandman. His teacher hit him. Logan came back with a single low kick. The teacher caught Logan's leg and threw him to the ground. He then kicked his head and stomach with 2 quick moves. Logan cried out in pain and was sick. "Never use only one move. Omnite fighting uses 2 or 3 moves together," said the teacher. "You must learn this." Logan slowly got up from the floor and started to move around his teacher again. Before he knew it, he was on the floor again. He picked himself up. Then he was down again. And again. And again. He was 6 and it was playtime. His best friend, Rob, was running across the playground, away from him.
"I'm a Sandman," shouted Logan. "I'm going to shoot you. Here I come." "Ha ha! You'll never get me. I'm the fastest runner in the world,"
Rob shouted, laughing.
"Ha! You're wrong. Here comes my Homer. Bam!" shouted Logan.
Yeah! Rob didn't fall. He was running.
"Ha ha! Missed me!"
he shouted.
"Did not!"
shouted Logan.
"Did not! A homer never misses. You're dead. A homer never misses. A homer never misses. A homer never..."
He was 9. He was on his way to meet his friend, Jack. Some men stopped him. "Kiss my boot," said the largest man. The 4 men stood around him, waiting. Logan shook his head. The big man hit him hard on the side of his face. "Do it," he said. Logan tried to back away, but they pushed him down. "I said kiss my boot. Then you can go," the man said again. Logan could feel the men's anger and violence. He kissed the man's boot. "Ah, this one's no fun. He can't even defend himself. Let's get somebody who has some fight in him." They left him lying there and walked away. They were laughing. "I'm not going to cry," Logan told himself as his eyes grew wet. Then he was won. His stomach was full. He was warm, clean, happy. I must wake up. Must find Jessica. Must get up. Logan moved in his dark metal space. The relive wall made soft sounds as the electronic messages moved through it. He was 19 and a Sandman. He and some other Sandmen were on a weekend break in Alaska. They were in a nightclub. He felt proud in his black coat, with a beautiful girl by his side and the other Sandmen around him. Good music, good times. Perfect. He was 14 and his hand was suddenly red. Now he had to be an adult. Yesterday he was free and everything was easy for him. But now he had to work. But that was okay. He knew what he wanted to do. Now he could be what he wanted to be. He was 20 and chasing a runner. The girl was smart. She crossed the river to lose him. But now she was caught. There was a high wall stopping her. Logan walked toward her. She was trying to climb the wall, but she couldn't. She fell to the ground. He took out his gun and shot her with a homer. Then he stood there. He felt sick and empty. Why did she fight against sleep? And then he was 21. Suddenly 21. His palm flower was changing from red to black. He was with Lilith hanging from a tall building. He was running after Doc, fighting cubs in Cathedral. He was in Molly with Whale's gun pointed at him. He was in hell, hearing Jessica's screams. Box was laughing. He was on the steps in Crazy Horse Mountain. The watchman was waiting, and Francis was coming after them. He was watching Jessica's terrified eyes as Rutago poured Hemodrome into her mouth. He was listening to his mother's voice in the love room. He was watching Jessica moving up the hill with the soldiers. and then Jessica was gone. Francis was outside, and the robot said,
"Come with me."
and awake! The life bed moved slowly out of the wall and opened. Logan sat up and uncovered his eyes. He got off the bed quietly so the robot didn't hear him. Then he went to the front door and looked out. Francis wasn't outside. He moved out into the crowds again. A police paravane was parked near him. Logan showed the policeman his right palm. "Can you help me?" he asked. "I'm happy to help a man on his last day," answered the policeman. "I don't have much time," said Logan. "A police paravane will be fast. Can I ride with you?" "Of course," answered the policeman, smiling. "Where to?" "Not far," said Logan. "I'm meeting someone on the other side of the fight. Over there." "Get in," said the policeman. The paravane went up through the smoke and noise and moved silently through the sky. "Great, isn't it?" said the policeman. "I come to Fredericksburg every year. I feel proud when I think of all those brave soldiers." There was sadness in his voice. "They had something to fight for. They had a future. And what do we have? Sleep. You now. And my time will come soon. Before, I thought that there was something after sleep. But now, I don't know." "Down there," Logan said, "on the other side of those trees." The paravane landed softly. "Thanks," said Logan as he got out. "Happy to help," said the policeman. When Logan got to the Fredericksburg maze entrance, Jessica wasn't there. He went down the steps into the maze tunnel and looked for footprints. He saw large boot prints in the dirt, from the boots of a Sandman. Francis. Logan went to the maze call box. He broke the computer screen to stop the alarm. But where was Jessica? Could she find her way here? Was she still alive? He found a place under some trees to wait. He could see the entrance from here, but no one could see him. He heard a noise. His gun came out ready. Then Jessica ran out of the forest. She was terrified. "They're chasing me," she screamed at him. "Sandmen?" "No, some guys. They saw my hand." "Into the maze," shouted Logan, and they ran down the stairs. "The fight. I lost you. I couldn't find my way." "Forget it," he said. "You're here now." "Washington, D.C., Logan said to the maze car when it stopped. They got in, and he put his arms around Jessica.